dokie. I started. Great. Well, welcome everybody to our, I don't know, we're like 13th or 14th one of these calls. I've lost track. I know it's quite a few of these training
That's
calls.
Amazing. We've got quite a few going on now.
I'm Irene Scricky. I'm a volunteer for OPH, and I just moderate these calls so that Marnie can focus on the content and not worry about, keeping track of questions and starting up the recording and all that. So I'll just be kind of in the background trying to keep everything moving. So most of you know, but I know we do have, actually, we may have quite a few people. Marnie is our trainer on contract with OPH so that she's available to answer questions, work with both fosters and adopters with OPH dogs. And she's been a great resource, both one-on-one with people, although virtual, of course, as well as doing these calls. And we do record these so you can watch a whole series of these on our YouTube channel. I'll try to remember to put the link in the chat as we talk. But we'll do our usual thing, which is Marnie will talk for a little bit. I think she actually has a demo to do, and then we will do questions and answers. So feel free to start teeing up some questions in the chat if you want as you're listening, and then we will get to those later. So go ahead, Marnie.
Thanks, Irene. So yes, if anybody has questions and came in tonight specifically to get help, I'd rather try and answer your questions tonight, because stranger danger, fear, aggression, reactivity is a big one. And I did ask, Teresa has been coming in on these calls, and she had Penny adopted from OPH, and she won in the auction. She won 5 hours of free training with me. And I said, hey, why not just bring her to me? Because you're going to come all this way, you're going to drive 4-hour round trip. Why not drop her off, and I'll make that more free couple days, because it's winter and I'm in my jammies and I can have her here and see what's going on. So we'll bring her in. But first, I'll just tell you really what is stranger danger and where it comes from, if that's all right with everybody. So please queue in your questions, and know that I'd much rather than blah, blah, blah all night, I'd rather hear from people who have problems and help them. And so Teresa will be one of those, hopefully. Okay, so stranger danger, fear, aggression, and reactivity. They're all kind of in the same wheelhouse, right? So first of all, genetics are the first port of call. Any of these problems dogs have with people, it really starts with what's in their DNA and what was their mom like more than anything, but what chemicals were in her, what hormones and chemicals were in her as she was pregnant. Was she stressed? How were people handling her postpartum? What was she signaling to the puppies in her milk and her behavior? Because immediately that starts getting communicated. But before pregnancy, there's the DNA that's in the parents and the grandparents. And we're really, I just want to make a little plug here for DNA being, it is at minimum, it's 50% of every training problem I see. Just want to let that sink in. At minimum, it's 50 at minimum % of every problem I see with a dog. So where your DNA comes from, if you are out there getting puppies, and there is a really good case for really reputable breeders, there is, but when you're getting puppies, just be aware that you're choosing a dog that already has 50% of it sort of set. So you just choose the type of dog that's going to work for you. Dogs out there work for everybody somewhere. But the second problem with stranger danger is we're getting the wrong type of dog for us, and we can't meet their needs. So all that excess energy rolls over into reactivity or overexpression of anxiety, or because they're just not the dogs that really are tailored to suit us. Dogs should be something, you should be getting a dog that really suits you. So when you're fostering, for all our incredible fosters out there who are taking the time to bring these new dogs that you don't know the DNA, you don't know how they were raised, because environment's the next part of it, right? How they're raised. Socialization is either traumatization or isolation sometimes. You've got isolation and traumatization. we're flooding them or they're not getting enough. And pandemic puppies are a thing now, unfortunately. We have the pandemic where people don't, it's not normal for dogs to see people all the time anymore. So now we get some reactivity because it's an abnormal stimuli. It's a novel stimuli. So we get some of that. But when you're choosing or when you're fostering a puppy or a dog for people, the information you get now, that helps. That's everything. Like OPH is one of the most remarkable rescues because really it's normal people doing it. It may be overseen at a higher level by experts, but in business and in rescue and all that, but it's actually run on the day-to-day basis by the average person taking a dog from a shelter into their home and finding out, who is this dog for? So what we get is dogs that are just thrown in too fast to situations and they become explosive. Thank God they're communicating, is what I say. The first thing is the dog communicating. Because the biggest problem with any kind of stranger danger, be thankful if you have a dog that's reacting. Be thankful if you have a dog that's communicating. Because I'll tell you, the scariest cases I've ever seen are dogs who say nothing, absolutely nothing, no indication, and all of a sudden their teeth are in somebody and there's no warning signs whatsoever. Usually punishment training or trauma has caused suppression of expression. So they've usually been shut down. So when they communicate, somebody's gone, no. And so the communication goes away and what you have left is a bite. So be really aware that when you tell a dog you disagree with a behavior, what else are they supposed to do instead? And does that change how they feel about a human being? If you're correcting them, be aware that you're telling them, I don't like you growling, I don't like you barking, I don't like you lunging, I don't like you pulling, I don't like you jumping, I don't like any of this, but it's not telling them how to feel inside instead. In fact, it may tell them, when people are around, I turn into a jerk and I start pulling back or tightening up or telling you off. When the dog feels unhappy or stressed, what we do in that moment is sometimes the difference between a fail and a dog returning to the shelter or being euthanized. So what we do in that moment should be, if the word shouldn't be in the English language and I just used it, perhaps we could explore how to set a dog up to feel safe and comfortable instead of feel wrong. So if we could actually look at the dog and go, what you're doing right now is not what we want, but you're not wrong for those feelings. Instead, I need you to come away over here where it's safe, away from the trigger, the stimuli, the problem, away from what you can't handle. Because what a dog barking, stranger danger, is typically hard barking. Am I able to share a video? Let me see. I've never done this before, so I'll be very impressed with myself if I can. I am one of those people that goes from the one project to the next project to the next project, and I apologize if my style of teaching is a little haphazard. Hopefully it's been of value to some people here. I really do hope that some people have gotten value from it, but I know I'm not perfect. I know I'm far from perfect. So I'm learning always on the go. I won't waste time with it, but I would like to get better at that and figure out how to do that, because I could share a little clip that I tried to get ready, but it's not coming up.
I might be able to share it for you, Marnie. Is it on Facebook Messenger?
Oh, it was the first 30, the bit where Bounty sees me and we see the whites of his eye, like that first part of the video. If we could share.
You're talking about on YouTube?
Yes. Oh yes.
Right.
I was looking for.
Yeah, give me a second and I'll see if I can get it.
You're the best.
I'll try. I'm not making any promises. But keep talking and I'll try to find it. Okay.
Okay.
Marnie, I'm ready whenever you are, but no problem.
Okay, Teresa, let's have a short interim and talk to Teresa. Well, let me just wrap it up of what I was saying about what we could do, not should do, because again, putting pressure on humans. A lot of dog trainers, I used to put pressure on humans and tell them what to do. I told Teresa and her lovely husband, I'm going to slap you around, but you'll love it because I'm just joking, right, Teresa? I was like, I'm going to be tough.
Marnie's the best.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. You're not allowed to say that. Thank you, though. But yeah, I like to kick people's butts if you sign up to be challenged. I like to have my butt kicked. I like to be challenged. I like to be improving and growing, but I like it to be done with love. Someone knows I've got the best intentions. I'm doing my best, and they're not really making me feel miserable. Oh, Lauren, thanks. Oh, you're the best. Freaking Lauren's the best. We've got the best team at OPH that I've ever worked with in a shelter. So you're in good hands here. But as fosters, you're taking on dogs that are unknown. And I just really want to speak to that because it's an incredible, it's not like there's anybody else. There's just you in the house. And when you adopt these dogs, it's the same. We don't know their history. We don't know their DNA. You can do DNA tests, but we don't know where they came from. We don't know what they know. When you've got stranger danger, and Teresa, if you're listening, this is kind of the answer already. I'm going to coach you a little bit and give people an example, but think, how can I make them safe? How can I build the relationship? Am I shutting down the relationship? If you are, the dog can't trust you anymore and they take over, they take charge, and you don't want a dog in charge when they feel afraid or scared. And Laurie may be able to show us a video, an example of a dog who I just met recently. And he has put his teeth at a very low level, like he's afraid, and he puts his teeth in people because he rushes up and says, I got to check you out. I got to smell you. I got to check you out. But oh, crap. I don't feel good now. Go away, woof, woof, go away. And then, like they're trying to make you go away, but they're actually scared, but they don't want to look scared because they're dogs and their DNA tells them they're predators. It's pretty simple. So if you've got them on a leash, here's what we're going to be asking Teresa to do right now. We're going to do this live. Can I make them safe? Can I use my relationship? Can I offer them a clue about making a choice by themselves instead of me telling them what to do? This is a hard one, and it's a really, really, really important one for behavior modification. Training won't help you. Obedience training won't really help you if you really have reactivity, stranger danger, fear aggression. If it's really fear aggression, obedience, you can't tell a dog how to feel. They've got to be able to make a choice for themselves. So can you give them a clue that they should come away? And can you make it pay? Bone Should Rain Down from the Sky, best book ever by Susan Clothier. Meat should rain down from the sky when they make a choice, when they go, should I eat this person or should I come away and check on my owner? Should I retreat? So as a trainer, we always try and get the dog to retreat. And let's see if we can get, Laurie, do you have that clip or should we go to Teresa?
Let me try. Let me see if it works.
Woohoo! We're all here together.
All right, I'm going to try it. We'll see. Can you see it?
Not yet. I see a logo.
Okay.
I know this is me. It seems so simple.
I know. I don't know. I can, hey, do we have any other gurus here that if I shared the video, you could get it to pop up?
Laura, you can send it to me.
All right, Erin, I'll send it to you.
Thank you, Erin.
Erin's way smarter than I am with this stuff.
That's why I like a team.
Oh, yeah. About that.
I've got one skill.
All right, Erin, I sent it to you on Messenger.
Okay, Teresa. And just to remind myself, I won't open it up until I'm going to answer Frank's question first. Frank has been such a wonderful volunteer for everybody here at OPH. He's done such great work, and he sent a question in to Sharmila today by email. So I'll read that quickly. and answer that as best I can. And then we'll go open it up. But go ahead, Teresa, show us your lovely self and your girl Penny, and just introduce yourself. How did you get here?
How I got here. So we adopted Penny from OPH back in October of 2020. And this past October, I felt really inspired to try fostering, and it didn't really work out so well. Penny became very territorial. I was really worried about the safety of the foster that I had. And like 2 days in, I had to ask and say, like, we really need to move this foster. And I felt horrible about the whole thing. Got some advice from Marnie through these videos. And when I saw that there was the opportunity for the training in the auction, I decided, okay, I'm going for that. And very recently we had Penny up there, and she's come back a different dog. She's one of the big issues we also had was leash. She was so reactive on the leash that even just trying to work with any type of high value, like chicken or anything, like she was so focused on everything else, she couldn't focus on me. And it's just a huge change that, like, I can put on a leash now. It's so amazing. She still has some fears. I have my son. She knows my son is back there. She hates when my son has his book bag on, and she hates his school shoes, and she will bark at him like you're here now. So typically in the morning when we leave, she's still in her crate upstairs when I take him to school. And when he comes home, I'm working, she's downstairs with me. So I'm gonna flip this to Penny. I should be able to flip this screen, I hope. Wait, there it is. Ah, there we go. Okay, so she already knows he's back there. Michael, come forward. There's Angel is here too. Pen. Come here, baby. Come here, baby. Yes. Good girl.
What's his son's name?
Michael's actually standing very close to her. I have earbuds, and so I could actually hear you over the bark.
Michael, can you run away again for a minute? Just disappear.
Go ahead and disappear again.
Let's let her win. That barking, that communication. Oh, she's sending him away.
Good girl.
Get down. Get down on the floor. Call her. And
Good girl.
Teresa, leave the room. Go somewhere else. Back up. You need to retreat. You're not using enough distance in this case. And we need more safety. She feels like she has to do the guarding the dogs loose. Do you have a nice long we can put her on?
Hi, good girl.
Can we put her on a leash?
What do I need to do with her?
Leash.
Oh, leash. I have a very long leash.
What treats do you have? It doesn't seem to be crack cocaine.
It's not quite crack cocaine. It is Spider-Man beef jerky from the bark box that we just got.
All right. Then I'm going to go quick. Put her on a leash. Very softly bend down from below. Yes.
Very good.
Non-threatened.
Good girl. Good girl.
Put her away. What is it about Michael in this moment? Because I know she lives with him. What is it about Michael in this moment she's most terrified of? The backpack, the uniform, what?
It's the backpack, and it's the his shoes. Now he took his backpack and shoes off. So she's kind of like, do I trust him or not?
Bring her away. Pull her away. Good girl. Now I want you to put her behind you very gently. Put her behind you.
Good girl.
And step in front of her like Superwoman defending her.
Good. Come in front of me, Michael.
Put your hand out. Be like,
good girl.
Wait, sweetheart. Wait. Michael, get back. Michael,
get back. Go back.
You're now mom of superpowers. Michael.
Good girl.
Michael, can you go to the door and make us feel like we're saving Penny from you? Go to the door.
Go back to the door like we're saving Penny, and we got you to go away.
Yes.
Get back to the back.
Win from
good
her.
Girl.
All right.
Good girl.
Let's just talk together as a group for a minute. Let's have a powwow. Everybody come in. She's lost, so she's taking over. Remember how I said that dogs take over when we're passive, when we're telling them nothing really with our body language, dogs go, let me save you. My DNA tells me what to do. I must guard. I must take over. I must do something. So right now you're kind of a blob doing nothing, and Michael's so scary, and the food you have doesn't mean she should stay and pay attention. And even if she did, she's still flooded and triggered. So it'd be a lie. So what I'm going to rely on in this instance is your body language and the leash. Remember that day in the car park? Remember my energy? Because we only met twice. But remember when I took over, I want you to sort of walk up and down the kitchen. You don't have much space, but I just want you to walk with authority and gently, like a mom with a baby who's about to be attacked by Michael. Not that she's doing anything wrong, that Michael's actually going to attack her. I want you to kind of walk around the kitchen like, you believe Michael will attack her with knives, and you're protecting her, but you're super mom and you're protecting her. And when she's behind you, pay her with chicken. Don't focus on her seeing Michael and paying her. I don't know what treats you have. They're not very good, I can tell. They need to be better, first of all. But when she's behind you and away from Michael, and before he puts the backpack and shoes on, pay her for being behind you and you being in front, and you're calm, you're super mom. And then maybe ask her for a sit and feed her again. Do your best you can in this little instance we threw together. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, go.
All right. All right, Michael, come back out at her. He removed the shoes, so I don't think she hears. Now she doesn't care. He removed the shoes.
You're being passive. Bring her right. She gave you the clue. Feed her. She looked at you. She looked at you. Bring her behind you. Bring her behind you. Bring her behind you.
Good girl.
Pay her. Pay her. Bring her behind you.
Good girl.
Put your hand out to
Good girl.
You shall not pass. Gently, with love, but you shall not pass. Stop. She's not.
Michael, you shall not pass.
She's not feeling protected. Is the answer. Now, Michael,
okay.
put it in your backpack and put it on the floor. And Teresa, get her behind you and feed her. Get her behind you and feed her. Get her further away sweetly and feed her. Michael, bring your backpack in, but put it on the floor at the doorway. He's gonna
grab his book bag because he thought we were done, and he ran it upstairs. I'm like, wait a minute, come back.
Okay. So it's body language.
Good.
This isn't about food. This is about body language. This is a body language gap. Is a body language. She doesn't feel like you've got her back, so she's taking over and she's faster than you are, and you're standing there sort of thinking and listening. You're a good sport, Teresa, and everybody watching me. Teresa has submitted herself to me twice now, and now she's doing it again on the phone. It's ridiculously hard. We're not setting her up to win. Good girl. I see a book.
Good girl. Good girl.
Yeah.
He's got the book bag. Good girl.
Great.
Can you put the book bag on the floor?
Good. Yeah.
That she absolutely hates.
Penny, I love you.
Good
Penny,
girl.
It's me. It's Auntie Monty. Don't be stressing.
Good girl. Good girl.
Winning.
So she laid down.
Yes.
And I have the book bag is like very close to her.
Stroke the book bag. Give the book bag some love. Hug the book. Michael, sit on the floor.
I lost sound for a hot second.
Get on the floor, Michael.
Can you get on the floor with your book bag?
And hug. You hug. Teresa, stroke the book bag. Hug the book bag.
Oh.
Yeah, don't talk to her about the book bag. You just love the book bag. And then feed Penny for it. We should be using more distance. I can't. This is hard, but it's harder than I thought. But you're getting the idea.
I'm the camera woman and trainer all in one.
Yeah, and you're listening to the crazy British woman in your ear, and 34 people are watching. But guess what? Michael's in the room, the book bag's in the room, and we're not being eaten. So you know what? Penny's a smart girl. I know that dog. I love that dog. Yeah, but pick the book back up and cuddle it like a little baby. Just don't make it move too fast.
Oh, it's my book bag.
And turn away. And now feed her massively. Somebody feed that dog, because she didn't eat it, and she doesn't understand why you're touching this dangerous.
Hold them for me.
So everyone watching, do you see here? I know this is a mess because we're on phone and we're on Zoom and I'm human and everybody's human here, but we've got a dog here in trouble and we're helping her. Teresa, at the worst of this, what did you think was going to happen to this poor dog? Like at the worst, at your worst moment, were you not really worried about this dog?
I didn't think she would attack because she's never been the kind to actually like go after. She might do like a slight lunge, but then she runs. And, you know, I know like that I've seen her like stressed. So it's my worry is more of like for her than it is that she's going to hurt someone. Different situation with the foster. Cause I felt like how I was explaining how she would kind of like go after Angel as well when we were getting into that and being a bully. And in that instance, I was fearful that she probably was going to hurt the other dog.
Beautiful timing. Good timing. She sniffed Michael, I think, off screen.
Yes.
And you timed it. You get chocolate and wine.
Girl, give me that.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, I hear you. Girl. She's not mean, but she's scared and she takes charge. And that's not safe, but it's not dangerous either. She's not eating anybody. But it's not good. And it could escalate if she feels unheard. It would escalate over time, right? Every time she checks out Michael, good girl, good girl.
Good girl.
The other thing to do is walk away, like have Michael walk away more. When he comes in with his uniform on, you've got her on leash, get her on leash. She only gets fed when she comes away from him. She can choose to stand there and bark, and she could choose to come away. Pick the backpack up and put it on yourself, and then just put it on the ground and feed her. Like
I made her eat food off of this book.
All
right, I will put the book bag very slowly on me.
Yes. And she's a good girl.
Good girl.
Penny.
Good
Penny.
girl.
She might remember my voice. I'm just throwing in anything that works. Good girl.
Good girl. Good girl. So yeah, I have this.
And then
now I'm standing up.
Then put it down. And
put it down.
Away. You know, it's like we survived the backpack. And now we get to leave it. Anything
she
that
didn't care.
She did care. You just
I mean, she didn't care like she did.
Yeah.
Good girl.
There you go. She does care because look at. I hope everyone watching can see the stress signals. If you've read the book I recommended by Turid Rugrass, there's like 147 calming signals. Thanks, Amy. Thank you. Good girl, lay down.
Good girl.
Amy just asked, did we gently pull her behind you to save her from Michael? But Michael, if you stand up again and slowly pick up the backpack, when Teresa moves away, Teresa, move to the door in the kitchen.
Michael, pick up the book bag and see how she reacts.
There you go. Let Michael go to the backpack. Michael, touch the backpack. I know this is weird.
Oh, he's already put it on.
He's already put it on.
And I don't have a bark. Good girl.
Make it
girl.
And everybody sit down. Yeah, feed her.
Good girl. Good girl.
Good girl.
Oh, you're so good.
Distance. What we don't have right now is everything's too close.
Back up some.
No, put the backpack down.
Put the book bag back down.
Yep. She's free.
There we go. Good girl. Good girl. I saw that.
One thing that would have helped there is if you used the leash to make her be behind you very gently, very sweetly. But if she was behind you and you were protecting her. What did you say, Gina? Irene, what did Gina say?
Well, the sentence wasn't completed, so I don't know.
Can I just ask?
Yeah. Yes, go ahead. Absolutely, please.
So it's a little different, I guess, if it's someone that you know. But if it's somebody on the street, you can't do all these things. Could you give us some tips in that? That would be really helpful. Thank you.
Yes, we're moving to that. We're just doing an example of somebody who's done the work and just needed help with the next part, so you could see it in real life.
Honey.
Thank you for asking, Gina. Okay, so Teresa, I'm just going to leave you with these couple things. You need to break it down into smaller chunks. She's flooded, and it's too often, and things are moving too fast. Yes, Jim. It's the combination of the shoes. You need to get the backpack okay before we even put the shoes on. But keep her away when you can't do all that. When you can't slow her down or slow it down, use distance. So to Gina, when somebody on the street, you don't need to do all that. They need to feel that you're making it safe, right? So that you can't make a stranger safe, but you can make you and the dog safe. Can you get away at all? If not, then don't be where you are. I'm sorry, it's brutal, but people are walking way too far, way too fast into dogs that are really struggling with this. I don't know if anyone in the call saw this, but Penny's really struggling. It's nothing to her. She's flooded right now, and Teresa needs more help. And Teresa will help you more with this. I wish I could go to everyone's house. I wish everybody was able to afford a trainer. I wish there were great trainers everywhere, but we're doing the best we can as humans. Nobody loves that dog more than Teresa. Nobody loves any dog more than anybody has ever loved a dog more than Teresa. I got to see her in person, and that dog is so loved, but does she know how to help her? No. So we have to be kind humans. We have to educate ourselves. Am I the best trainer? No, there's better trainers out there, 100%. I know, because I go to see them 6 times a year in conferences. Like, I'm just doing the best I can over the phone. So we do the best we can. Be gentle with yourself. First of all, be gentle with yourself. Second of all, make it easier for the dog to win, and have something the dog cares about to pay them for putting up with the ridiculousness that we're putting them into. When the dog is scared, we'll take questions in a minute, and I'll show you examples. I'll help you one by one, but make it safer. Use distance. Get away. Show the dog you actually care about the scary thing. You see it, but you're gonna just take charge and move away. If I showed you my body language, it would be firm. Not to the dog. I would know what I was doing, and I would know where I was going, and I wouldn't give a crap about anything else going on. I'd be really pragmatic and really firm, but I'd be loving, kind, and I would never be mean. That's my goal in every session. I'm a human, so I'm not perfect to stick to that in every single example of life, but can you make it safer? Can you make it calmer? Can you add more distance? Can you see the dog body language that you see here? Teresa's a bit blind to it because she's not learned to react to it. But everybody here will probably see that dog was pretty, whites of the eyes, running around, darting, rushing to the Michael, rushing back to the owner. That was a dog in a bit of distress, but she lives with him. She needs desensitization and counter conditioning. And we can Google those terms and learn about them. Let's take the next question now. Anybody want to have this applied to a real life situation you're dealing with? Sorry,
Marnie,
Jeannie.
Yes. Marnie, can we just capture, there was one question that came before.
Yes.
Let's catch that before we take other questions. It was from Letitia.
Thanks.
Can you elaborate what you mean by DNA? Is there an aggression gene? Is this a breed thing? About when you said it's 50% DNA.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. You're always dealing with whatever you're dealing with the dog, 50% DNA, 50% whatever they experienced since they were born. But 50% of any problem is going to be hidden in that DNA. Now, there's breeds are bred to do different things, but they're bred by humans for centuries to do very specific things. So no, there aren't breeds that are worse than others. It's they're being put in situations they were never bred to be in, but they were very deliberately bred for centuries by humans who needed them for very specific things. So they're not being selected for taking in strangers on the streets in urban DC. They weren't selected for that. So putting them in that situation breed-wise, learn your breeds. If you've got a stranger danger case, it's good to maybe get the DNA testing, maybe learn the breed. I'm not a breed person. I have to do the DNA test. I can't look at a dog. They're so mixed up these days. No, I can't look at them and say what they are. I have to do the DNA test. I know some people who are amazing at looking at the dog and deciding the breed, and I'm just not one of them. So is it an aggression gene? There are, but there's mom and dad, and it's more about what they're sending out to those young pups than it is about actually a code of a gene. So it's more about what they're shown in the first few days about humans, how they feel, and how the breeder handles that litter is 70% of it, in my opinion. Like, if you've got good, are there dogs outside, Andrew? Dogs in rotation, sorry. And they found somebody at the fence line. So it's time to come in from that rotation and get bonies. So for me, it's how the breeder raises them. Puppy culture, if you're into puppies or getting a puppy or anything, or raising puppies for anybody, puppy culture is the most revolutionary movement in dog training that I've ever seen in my life. And going to a reputable breeder or going to a rescue and getting the type of dog that suits you. And if it's a mutt, it's just the expression of the personality at that age that can really tell you if that dog's suited to you or not. Don't pick looks, pick personality. That's the best I could answer in this moment. What was that one? What was that question?
The next one. Well, there was just a comment from Aaron Fitzgerald about the message out about all of us doing the best we can with our dogs, and this aggression, the idea that the aggression is all the owner's fault makes it really hard when we feel we're being judged. And I get that with my own reactive dog. Just wanted to read that to people. But the question, it's
kind to each other. Everyone's doing the best I can't stand it when I feel judgment on people. Like, it's easy, even in rescue world, it's so easy to bitch about people. I found myself it's so easy to judge other people. Judge yourself, judge your own actions. And the dog is the best they can be in that moment. They've not been shown, they've not been taught you're the best you can be. Who can you go to that you can trust to teach you how to be better? That's it. But you got to find someone you can trust and you feel vulnerable with. You feel safe to be vulnerable. All this judgment is teaching people to shut down and withdraw. Dogs feel the same thing when they're judged.
Anyways, Bethany's, actually we should have a whole discussion about interacting with other people with a dog that's complicated, because I've gone through a whole cycle of emotions and dealing with neighbors who don't like my dog, anyways, and learning to advocate for your dog. That's a whole other topic. But the question from Bethany was, how would you recommend the opposite of stranger danger on walks? For example, the dog getting extremely excited and bouncing around when others are passing on a walk. Anti-stranger danger.
Say that again. Anti-stranger danger.
I'm just being silly. Basically, the dog wants to meet everyone instead of being afraid of everyone. And then you have kind of a hyper excitable. My current foster is like that. He wants to meet every human being and won't take no for an answer. So different issue.
That's the problem we had with Bounty, was like the dogs that are forward are coded to be forward. They've got some, in this case, it's golden retriever. He's got some, tiny. He looks it, but that's a guard dog. When a dog has strain, when they've got forward, check it out, say hi to everybody. But then when they get there, people can be mean, or they can smell weird, or they could be sick, and they can smell wrong. Protect your dog like your life depends on it, because I'm telling you, your dog's life might depend on you protecting them from that stranger. Treat it like, do you allow your dog to drag you into the road, into cars, and run them over? I've got plenty of dogs that come in that literally jump into traffic. So I know that because the first time I walked them, they literally dived head first. What the hell? They're trying to die. They're trying to take a car on as if a predator takes on prey. Instead of backing off, they're going forward. But that's a problem with dogs that are overly friendly. They get traumatized or triggered, and it can become bad. Also, they're just dragging you and they're rude. They may never become bad, but it's rude and it's dangerous, and it's not okay for the person. It's not okay for the dog, and it really causes more problems. So I'm so glad you asked that. treat it like a dog trying to jump into traffic. Like, I can't answer that in this call specifically in the protocol of what to do, but we do have videos on leash training. We have videos in the library that I think if you watch a few more, or if you send this into OPH training at whatever the email is, and somebody will link that for me, the OPH training email, I will break that down with more clarity and more time and more breath in my body. I will break that down for you and make that slower for you. I can absolutely fix that. But right, let's go back to stranger danger, where they see someone and they're like, oh, it's the enemy, I must kill them, or I'm just exploding with noise at them. Who's struggling with that right now? Oh, Frank's question. Hold on. Sorry. I'm just going to interrupt everybody. I recently adopted a 2-year-old Australian Shepherd that was a COVID puppy. COVID's an issue right now, right? The couple who owned her did not take her out and socialize her at all. She's a sweet dog and well-trained, but definitely struggles with stranger danger. I know Aussies can be protective and wary of strangers, but looking forward to any tips or helps with that. We do small trips to the hardware store or the pet store, and I take treats with me. If a stranger shows interest, I talk with them and hand them a treat. Frank, stop it. Why are you doing that? That's traumatization, not socialization. But honest to God, I'm so glad you're a good sport and I can make an example with that. I was determined to get this out today. We think that saying hi to people and it going well is socialization. Dogs are flooded and they're like, they need things, they need one experience. They need it to be really voluntary. They need that person not to put any pressure on them. You feed her and use distance, use coming away, and it will change her life. I swear to you, it will change her life. I'd like to talk to you more about that. She's very food motivated and good about taking treats from them. That can be bribery. We tend to, but then they don't feel good. I think this is what's happened with a lot of these dogs. They're like, rush up to people, oh crap, I don't feel good. The food's not there. This is literally, Lauren, isn't this what we saw at Bounty? As long as there were chicken nuggies, he was happy. But it's like, really, is he that happy to rush up to strangers? Is he safe to rush up to strangers? So let's really think about, we should be teaching dogs, here's the truth, we should be teaching dogs to stay away from strangers and wait till they offer or they're really truly happy to. Can we guarantee that stranger is a good vibe or that they won't push their hands down? If you do that to a young dog, it's going to break them. Just real simple. Teach dogs to stay away from people and other dogs. And first, and then choose wisely who you allow the dog to go up to. And you'll be, right, Irene? You'll be so much better off if you don't let them go up to everybody. You know that with the ones that you've got that are happy, if you let them go up to everybody, you're reinforcing the urge to go forward to everybody. Is that a good thing to do? Not in my experience. In my experience, that everybody isn't safe for the dog. Also, they're just dragging you. Then they expect to go to everybody. And then if they don't like what they find or they don't have a good experience, they're really in control. Once they've determined that everybody gets greeted, they become in control and they're not really set the rules for the dog that it's going away a lot. And then maybe we'll go up and see somebody. If everything looks good and you're calm, and the person feels good and everything's calm and slow. But if they're just like, they're getting trigger stacked, they're getting overwhelmed, they're getting hyper aroused, and they become harder wired for it. And it becomes a more uncomfortable, unpleasant experience to walk them, or they jump on people and they're mugging everybody, and they learn to expect that. So we really need to set the tone with dogs and calm it down, break it down, make it more about you than the relationship with anybody else. And here's why. Everybody on this call, for stranger danger, either had a dog that was like that from a pup, or had a dog that wanted to go up to people and then had a really bad experience, and now they're here because it's stranger danger. It's really sad. The dog will get, at some point, it will get broken. So the dog needs to learn to stay with the handler, have the relationship with the handler, build up the trust with the handler, and really learn to read people and go and wait for the cues to be invited, and then make sure that that's set up for success. Next question.
Let's see, there have been a lot of things coming in, which is great. Let's see. Okay. And Liz put the training at ophrescue.org. It's in the chat. I'm about to put up the link to the library, other training videos like this. So you'll see that in a minute. But the next question was from Amy. Amy, do you want to actually just talk to us, or I could read it?
Sure. Sure, I can talk to it. So my current foster dog, I've noticed he's typically afraid of men. With women, he's fine. He's like very cuddly. I have yet to see a woman, except for the vet, that he doesn't like. With men, it's hard to predict though, because with like my boyfriend, for example, he loves my boyfriend, so he'll go up and he'll cuddle with him. In fact, he runs to my boyfriend when he gets scared rather than me. But then with some men, like my uncle, or his most recent, he had a man and wife adopt him. He did great with the mom. He did great with the dad for like the first 3 days, was very cuddly with the dad. And then all of a sudden he started barking at the dad. And I don't really know how to fix it, because I don't have like a lot of people coming into my home, you know, to give practice.
Sorry, so sorry. Just doing things. Yes, carry on. He was at the door.
Yep. So I don't have like people coming in, you know, because of COVID. So I don't really know how to give him practice or, you know, good experiences with the strangers.
Okay. So what can you get? Who can you get over? When can you get? What can you set up?
I was thinking like maybe go to a dog park, but I don't want to overwhelm him either, you know, if there's like a bunch of people there.
Okay. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's the fact that it's become more irregular, and that it can now be so overwhelming. So we need to find something that's in the middle there, that's more calm, that's more steady, that we can set up. What's he motivated most by? What's your biggest motivations?
I think for him, it's attention. Like I noticed yesterday, I took him for a walk, and every time we would pass by people, he would bark and jump. But I would kind of like grab him, not like pull him, but I would grab him to get his attention. And I would say like, good boy, and pet him. And he really loved that. And it seemed to help a little bit. It went from barking to like a whining. So I don't know if that's like a good thing, but
yeah.
Okay.
It's an improvement. We need to break it down more, right? What, and this is the part where I actually finally get to say the bit I've been wanting to say the whole call. It's about, where can I develop my relationship with the dog in this moment? What have I got that the strangers can't have? They can't be. Here's dog training 101. Like, if there's a situation I'm training my pup to be in, and she wants something more than she wants my attention, I immediately go, "Ooh, how interesting! I've created this area where I've gone too fast, too soon into a bubble, where she wants the other thing is competing with my attention. How can I get her back? Like I'm like a jealous girlfriend. I'm like, how can I get her attention? What do I need to do here? How can I flirt with her?" And I literally flirt with her. I will bring out whatever I've got. I will use distance. I'll retreat. I'll get excited, or I'll calm down. I'll use affection. Like you said, he really likes, I'll sit on the ground and do exact spot massage. Go back to the car and like decompress in the car and then come out just a minute and like feed chicken nuggets or something really exciting. You've got to create a setup with a real life situation in front of you. You've got to go, can I retreat from it? Can I bail? And if you can't, you're in the wrong place. If you're trapped, the dog you get is the dog you've got. If you're trapped, you've gone into a situation where you're trapped, that dog's freaked out. You can't win in a trapped situation. So the dog park, like you said, there's a gate you can exit, but there's new people coming in. There's so much going on. You could watch the dog park. You could be in the car park of the dog park. You can get in and out the car and make the car like the doggy zen spa from heaven with the right music and some touch and some lavender. You just need to find a place where you can chill and you can relax and your leash is really loose and you can turn around and reject behavior you don't like seeing, walk away back toward the car, or turn around, walk toward the dog park and say, buddy, there's some people there, what do you think? And then turn back to the car and go, this is where we get fed the chicken nuggets. This is where we get fed the beef burger from McDonald's without the bun. This is where we just, this is where we're going to have the massage and the lab. And you just drive out to the dog park to have that relaxation. Like, or it's at your front door. Someone appears at the front door and you make them go away. You make the dog safe. And then you go, right, we're going to go in the back and we're going to do all these fun things. Or we're going to do these calming things. Every dog has a different motivation. Food isn't the answer to everything at all. We just use it as a placeholder. It's literally just easy for people who are learning this science. But the truth is it's real life rewards that change the dog. Food tells them you won. You won. If they look away from the stranger, if you can break it down and make it calmer and they look away, you win more brownie points with that dog. So what do you think would be the best? Like, Amy, what do you think would be the best setup you could make? And then we could like make a plan from there.
I think maybe continuing with probably the walks then in that case, just because I don't have a good, like the way you described the dog park and going to the car, I don't have a good dog park like that nearby. The parking lot's too far away. So I think probably for me, it would be the walks. And then when we pass by people, really spoil him with good attention. If he's, like if he gets nervous, just get his attention and pet him and make sure he feels safe and spoiled with the attention, which he really loves. And then once he calms down and feels good about it, continue with the walk.
Okay. So I'm going to challenge you a little bit if you'll allow me. If you'll allow me, I'll challenge you. That's a good, it's a good plan because it's a mindful plan. You're really present. You're really conscious about the dog you have. You can see it in your mind's eye, how it will go, and you're adding things that will improve it. But if you'll trust me to challenge you a little bit, we need affection when the dog feels any fear. The behavior meets a need. So your problem behavior is expression of a need unmet. So any behavior problem we have, they're expressing, I've got a need for safety in this instance that isn't met. So if I say, good dog, even the best good dog, and tickle, have I met the need for the behavior?
Oh yeah, you still felt nervous to begin with.
Thank you. So perhaps if we could say, it's like taking a PTSD patient for a therapist or something. If they're so nervous that they're sweating and shaking, is that a good therapy exercise? This is like therapy. We need a therapy session. Can we just go out the door and the first person we find at a distance, can we then go, I see them, you see them, let's bail back 5 feet. Let's just go back 5 feet and see how we think about it together and support him and go, oh, we survived. We survived. Seeing that. Now, how do you feel? Now you get a minute to look at the dog's behavior and go, calmer? Yes or no? Breathing? Yes or no? Asking for attention or me putting my hands on them and thinking... Right, good dog, good dog. Is the dog asking for it? Like, have we got a volunteer? Or are we just going, right, we must walk, because exercise is important. I don't exercise dogs that are troubled. I go back and forth, right, Teresa? In the car park across my road, or the street right by my house.
Yes.
Back and forth. We don't flood. We had a caller, Barbara, who took a dog out, and then she was flooded the minute she was out the door. It just is sometimes the case, but we can go back in the house and make it safe. We can go outside and go, it's the relationship. Can you improve your relationship? Can you break it down and say, when we see people, we retreat, then we get affection. Then I'm just going to give you a lick of liver pate or a slice of hot dog. It's got to be something the dog will actually work for and they will stretch themselves for.
Okay.
Not take happily, but actually work. Here's the key. Here's the real answer. We break it down to where they're not flooded. They're not sweating and shaking. Oh, hey, here's my puppy. This should be fun. My 1-year-old in training, she should be perfect. I have no doubt that she'll be awesome. But yeah, live, we'll see. So yeah, can you add something that tells the dog you made smart decisions? And I see your thinking and I am approving of it in a moment that the dog isn't, oh, let's just survive. Oh, we gotta get. Back up and go, how did you feel about that? Breathe. Now, can you eat? Can you take a toy? Could you get back in the car? Or can we have affection? Are they volunteering for it? Are they able to build up trust with you? And the more, it's not that you'll do that every day, it's that you'll practice that enough in real life. You'll create this perfect bubble just once a day, once a week, if that's all you got. But you'll create a perfect bubble where there's an amazing experience between the two of you.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
So Marnie, we're close to time. I was going to say, there's one question from Jean that's on a very different topic. So Jean, maybe you could reach out directly to Marnie on that. But there are two others, one about someone who's got a dog for a year and dog is still not comfortable with one person in the house. And then maybe we could address that quickly, but then I like the last question here from Gina. If we always distance ourselves and avoid people, how will the dog ever get comfortable with others? That's kind of a bigger picture one. Maybe we could just quickly take those two and then we will have pretty much addressed all the questions that came in through the chat, at least.
Thanks, Irene. You're wonderful. How will the dog get comfortable with others if we always distance ourselves? They are first, because as a trainer, and I'm answering a multitude of people's interests in 1 hour over the phone. You need to teach the dog that you're safe in an environment and they will feel more comfortable and be more predictable in every other example that you set them. It's not that you'll be perfect in every one. It's not that you'll do this all the time, but you create as many setups during the day, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but no more than that needed, really. Teresa, you saw it. I only trained her like twice on the leash, and the difference was what? Like bonkers.
Huge difference.
Twice. I did it twice. I didn't do it all day, every day. I did it twice, dude. But I did the pre-work to set it up. So I didn't put her near people. I showed her distance enough times that when people just came at us and came past us and life happened, she felt that I was savvy enough about the way the world really works to trust in me and to calm down. But it's about your body language on the leash. You got to get control of that leash. The number one thing I haven't talked about here, because it is on a video, I promise you, I literally promise anybody, I will literally make this promise. If you change your leash training, you will change the relationship with your dog. you will absolutely have the foundation. So A, they need to go on a leash, and B, worked on a leash, and B, it needs to be really gentle and a relationship. It should be an umbilical cord that builds trust. And if you're yanking or jerking or telling that dog no, you're not telling them what to do instead. You're not telling them yes. So just once a day, twice a day, take the dog and show them somebody at a distance and go, this is what I want. I want you to back up. I want you to sit, and I'm going to pay you. I'm going to pay you so big that you don't just so excited to work for me that you don't even worry about the fear part as much anymore. Dogs that have deep, complex PTSD is something we haven't talked about. Email me, because dogs have PTSD. It's really real. The past isn't the present, and they act like it's the past, and it's actually the present. Same with us. Dogs have it too. It's teaching dogs that you're safe to talk to, teaching dogs to communicate with you and have a conversation with you. If they look at you, if they drop an ear, they change their body language, they yawn, they relax, they look away, or are they fixed, staring? If a dog's fixed and staring, I don't know if the camera's getting it, fixed and staring and intent, you're not talking to them. You can't keep going. It's going to get worse. You've got to back up and go, where do we feel safe? Where can we acknowledge each other? Where do we have a conversation? Anyone who's had a really good experience with the dog knows what a conversation is. Like, the dog will acknowledge them and check in with them. And if you back up, they come to you. They don't keep going. If you keep following a dog that keeps leaving, it's like a toxic relationship. It will never get better. Never. You've got to back up. You got to break things down into smaller steps, and you got to know what rewards the dog massively when they make a choice by themselves that's a safer choice. I wish I could do more in an hour. It feels like it's not enough. I hope this helps somebody, but I feel lacking. I honestly feel like I'm not helping enough or doing enough, because so much need out there right now. So I would love to take more emails. I would love to talk at a better, I would love to show more in person. If you want to come here, you could apply for free. If you really need the help, then please let us know, and we will do everything we can to help you. But thanks for coming, everybody. Sorry, it's not easy subject.
And Marnie,
tough subject.
Just to say, so Michaela, who had the question about the one person in the family that the dog's not comfortable with, maybe you could email that to training@ophrescue.org, and Marnie can get back to you. I think it'll probably be some of these same techniques she's describing, just applied to that particular situation. But since it's a little bit past the hour, let's wind down. Thank you so much, Marnie. Thank you, everybody. And we will have a recording of this added to the training site. So thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, Marnie, I wanted to tell you, I took Penny out on the lot behind my house, and we had her on the lower lot, and then there was an upper lot. And on the upper lot, there was a guy with his dog off leash, and they were throwing the ball around. She saw them. She looked. She came back to me, treated her. Of course, she's curious about her. There was like one bark that came out of her, but she was able to redirect. We were able to do our zigzag walking on that lot, and she was paying attention to them, but she was paying attention to me, and that was just such a huge, huge improvement. Thank you, because I wouldn't have been able to do any of that.
Like, that's amazing. That's amazing, and it's because of you, because you're open and you're willing to learn, and you just don't know. I can't plumb my whole house. Like, I would need a plumber to teach me. We don't know what we don't know, and you just need to take a little bit more charge, just get a little bit more, have an idea, have a plan, and make her kind of follow, but then reward her and love her for following. If you watch her too much, you're not in charge, she is, but you're building it, you're doing it. I can't wait to work with you again one day. Thank you.
Oh, this summer.